Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Community Unitarian Universalist Church in Plano. My name is Reverend Dr. Aija Duelm. I'm the minister of this congregation, and I'm glad you are here. Whether you're in person or watching us online, I'm glad that you are joining. We are an inclusive congregation that strives to welcome everyone, seeking to include all of our identities, all of our complexities and situations. We welcome your whole self, all of who you are, even if that whole self is not yet fully assembled yet. Because we all are work in progress. We're still evolving, we're still growing, and we're doing this together in this community. And we come together and worship as part of that process to lift up and honor that we consider sacred, and to connect with one another, reminding ourselves that we are not alone in this wild journey that we call life. Our call to worship comes from Katie Kandarian-Morris, titled Hoping, Trusting for So Many Things. Here we have come into this sacred space, quieter now with our readiness, hushed voices, hoping, trusting for so many things, for connection, for communion, for inspiration, for information, for healing, for wholeness, for words, for music, for celebration and consolation. Here we have come into this space bringing all of who we are. Let us be willing, however, we are changed. Join together in worship today. Anyone here likes chocolate? Some more than others, right? It turns out that Valentine's Day is the third biggest chocolate and candy sales day in the States. So we have third. So we have Christmas and we have Halloween. Right, yes. Christmas has candy canes, Halloween has candy corn, Easter has chocolate bunnies and the eggs. Valentine's Day has heart-shaped chocolates. And it turns out that in the 1860s, that was the height of the Victorian era, Cadbury were the first that invented a heart-shaped box to put the chocolates in. And so once the chocolates were eaten, the box was kept as a place to store sentimental items. Love letters, gifts, locks of hair. These were things that were very popular in the Victorian culture. Well, according to Johns Hopkins research, dark chocolate has quite a few benefits. It increases heart health. The antioxidants lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of blood clotting. Epicatechin, and I have no idea how to say this right, helps the body to use insulin better, and in that way combats diabetes. It also helps the body to produce nitric oxide in the blood, and that boosts athletic performance, so that those who are athletes don't run out of oxygen while they're running or playing or doing other things. Flavonols balance the immune system, improves brain function, and reduce stress. So the higher the cocoa content, the more flavonols, the beneficial flavonols are in the chocolate. Well, we also know that Cupid was no angel. Cupid was a mischievous love child of pagan gods, right? The week of Valentine's Day can actually be very bad for your health because a few of us just eat one candy, right? So eating a lot of them can lead to sugar spot highs and also emotional lows. The spikes of sugar stimulates the reward center in our brain, and then it results in even more cravings, and then we want more and more and more. It also stimulates the release of insulin, which is a fat-storing and inflammatory hormone in our bodies. Chocolate can trigger acid reflux or migraines, and it also contains caffeine, which doesn't work for everybody. So in addition to those physical health challenges, Valentine's Day sometimes brings up significant psychological and emotional distress in people. This day reminds those among us who are single that they are not in a relationship. Men often feel pressure to produce a display of love for their partner, and sometimes that is a very stressful thing. Widowed seniors who experience isolation and a lack of companionship on a regular basis are once again reminded of their loss. So Valentine's Day can come with a lot of loneliness. And if we look at the research and what happens in people's lives, loneliness is much more prevalent among us than we might imagine. During the pandemic, the data was showing a significant increase in how many people reported feeling lonely on a daily basis. There has been a general decline in these numbers. However, the Health Day poll reports that this year, 2024, 1 in 10 American adults are experiencing significant loneliness every day. 1 in 10. Younger people are more likely to experience loneliness due to lack of meaningful or close relationships or a sense of belonging. About 30% of 18 to 34-year-olds say that they feel lonely every day or several times a week. In some ways, we could say COVID pandemic is over, but we still are dealing with loneliness pandemic still with us. Loneliness creates a sense of anxiety in us. The isolation hurts. And there are many ways to take the edge off, if only for a little while. Many of these ways are not very healthy means. Drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, shopping, eating, obsessions, working long hours. But taking to extreme, these ways actually can destroy us and make loneliness even more difficult to cope with. I imagine that we all, at some point in our lives, experienced loneliness. I remember that when I came down to Texas in 2010 for doctoral studies, I was telling everyone for 4 years that as soon as I'm done, I'm moving out of here. I was lonely here. I did not have a place where I belonged, where I would have my people. I was commuting to St. Louis once a month to lead a worship service there. That was the place where I was the minister before I moved down to Texas. And I always would tell people, I'm going home. I'm going home for 4 years while living here. And then what happened was that I found a Unitarian Universalist church. And everything changed. I found people who accepted and welcomed me, who included me in the life of their community. And suddenly I had a place where I belonged, and my loneliness was cured, I guess. If we look forward to the Valentine's Day, we know from all the Hallmark cards and store items that we are seeing right now in the huge displays that this day emphasizes romantic relationships. And romantic love is exciting, it's fun, it's wonderful. I believe that there are a few of us here who are wondering and eager to find out if Taylor Swift makes it tonight for the Super Bowl to watch her love play, right? But romance is really not an antidote to loneliness. When we experience loneliness, it's mostly due to lack of connectedness to others. Carl Jung said that loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. Having that shared relationship. And there's a difference between solitude and loneliness. Because solitude is about connecting to your deepest self, connecting to all that is central to your existence, and to getting yourself back into balance. The founders of all major religions used solitude to form the most deeply held positions of their faith. So if we look at the lives of Moses, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, all contained significant time where they were alone, often in a desert, and returned from there with an insight that then guided their ministries. And not just these leaders. We also have Mary Curry sitting silent at her desk. We have Georgia O'Keeffe in her desert. Thoreau in his hut by Walden Pond, contemplating on what he was experiencing and writing about it. Reverend Barbara Mayers points out that what they all learned from during these times of solitude enabled them to withstand persecution, stand by their principles, and inspire others to follow them. They discovered that by reaching their inner depths, they avoided superficial lives and found riches that have changed the world. Tolbert McCarroll, a former attorney for humanitarian causes, he founded an ecumenical star-crossed monastic community and then wrote many books on contemplation as a necessary source for compassion. He says these words: "Stop trying to find a ladder that will reach the sky. Stay still. The sky will come to you." Further, he says that separateness itself is just an illusion. Our loneliness is an illusion that we may have inadvertently nurtured ourselves. Because the reality is that we are all connected. In the reading that we heard today, that was written by Leslie Takashi, we heard, despite distance and fear, we are connected. Despite loneliness and change, we are connected. We're not really separated in this world. We're not alone. That's the beauty of community, of the ability to come together where we have the opportunity to reach out to one another and to let them know how you're doing, what is going on. This is the opportunity to tell the other person, you're not alone. I'm here with you. I'm here to walk with you, whatever it is that you're experiencing. Yes, I may not fully understand everything you're going through. I may not fully agree with everything that you're seeing or experiencing, or how you're seeing and experiencing things. But I see you as a human being that is worthy, that is loved, that is beautiful. And I'm willing to walk with you and support you and remind you that we are connected. Across different experiences and lives, Leslie said, we are connected. Even in the face of the inevitable losses of life, we are connected. In laughter and mourning and hot summer and the glow of stars, we are connected. Across the limits of our imagination, we are connected. Even when nature trembles, we are connected. There's really no inherent uniqueness in the Valentine's Day. Every day is about celebrating and appreciating those we love and care about. Today, I would like you to receive a reminder that you are thought about, that someone here in this church is thinking about you. I have prepared some chocolate for you. I know your mouth was watering all this time while you were watching the chocolates on the screen and everywhere, right? So what I would like to do is invite Jen and Joyce, if you could come forward to help. So I have 2 baskets with regular chocolate, and this one has 0 sugar, in case somebody is concerned not to have those spikes in sugars. This is that one basket. If you would come forward and take a piece as a reminder that you are thought of here. This community does care about you, is thinking about you, and is appreciating that you're here. I will end with a prayer from Reverend Rob Hardy's from All Souls Unitarian Church in Washington, D.C. My prayer for this church is that we might build a community where the loneliness in each of us reaches out to the loneliness of the other, so that we might offer one another communion. And further, that we might build a community where the solitude in each of us reaches out to the solitude of the other, so that we might offer one another a glimpse of the holy. You are not alone.